Hello, I'm Danny DeHeck. Thank you for tuning in and watching my YouTube channel. Do you know why HyperVerse has been so successful over the last couple of years? That is because they are selling you something that we all want, and that is a passive income.
Passive income, also known as unearned income, is income that can be earned automatically with minimal labor to earn or maintain. It can be a great way to help one generate extra cash flow, whether he or she is running a side hustle or just trying to get a little extra dough each month.
Now that is Wikipedia's explanation of what a passive income is. So I've been exposing HyperVerse for the last couple of months, and you're probably wondering why I have been doing that. People have been giving me lots of feedback. They say I'm jealous that I haven't got invested in HyperVerse. I'm broke, or I should find better things to do with my time. My mission was actually to get 1,000 YouTube subscribers, and I've accomplished it. The reason why I wanted to do this is because I wanted to monetize my YouTube channel. So what I'm going to do in this video, I'm going to flip into a web browser and I'm going to show you how much money I have actually made on each of the videos that I've produced about HyperVerse. Now, I'm ethical, so I haven't just been creating rubbish. I've actually done a lot of research in these videos, and now you can see the return I've got on my investment. I think the information I've got and I've grabbed throughout the internet has actually been quite useful. So I've done it. Now, for those who don't know me, I've actually left school at the age of 14. The reason I did this is because I hated school. I couldn't take my education any further. I have dyslexia. So when I got to the age of 23, I decided to get tested, and they told me that I have a reading and a writing level of a 9.3-year-old, which I thought was quite good at the time. So I started life off as a painter and a decorator, and it wasn't until I started working for myself I really learnt how to overcome obstacles because I couldn't read or write. But when the internet came along around about 93, 94, 95 for me, I embraced it with both hands, and now these days I've overcome a lot of the obstacles that I couldn't overcome without the aid of technology. So I don't need to read and write so much. I can do a video like this. I can select my words and have them read to me, and I can also use my voice to text to get the words on the screen. I started Christchurch, where I live, first internet cafe, and I got involved with building websites. I want to share with you other ways to make money than just being involved in HyperVerse. I personally, over the last 20 years, have done 10 major side hustles that have generated six-figure incomes each, and I'm going to share them with you. So go get a cup of tea, come back, and I'll show you some of the weird and wonderful things this guy who can't read and write have done on the internet to create a passive income rather than investing money in other people's passive income earning streams, if that makes sense. Stay tuned. Right, let me show you my first six-figure income idea. I sold everything I owned and decided to buy a laptop and a digital camera and travel around New Zealand telling people I was a mobile internet consultant. I think I actually told them I was New Zealand's leading internet consultant, which is a bit of a hard case. So I'll just go into workshop mode and show you my website that I started out with. Now, I believe be good today rather than perfect tomorrow. That's why it's green. It looks terrible, but we're talking back in 1990, I think it was 1998, when I started building this tourism directory, because I'd already gone out and got a few clients, and then I realized that most of the people that were using my services, what's the word, were accommodation providers and transportation providers. So as time went on, that same year I upgraded my website, and the design of my website got better as things went along. So don't worry about being perfect before you start, because whatever you do will lead to different opportunities that you didn't think existed at the time. And my real point of difference was I never actually designed standalone websites for my clients. I was like a shopping mall, and I used to lease out shops to them, which meant that when they went off and got a quote for a website and somebody was asking them for 15 or 30,000, I would charge them $5,000 to set up a shop within my existing network. I'd get them to agree to a contract or an agreement that they never owned their website, but they leased it from me. Now, the benefit of doing that is my website that you're looking at here, New Zealand's Information Network, was generating 25,000 IP visits per day, just like a busy mall does today. So the advantage of them being in my directory was actually good for them because I was generating a lot of bookings. So as time went on, if I did get a $5,000 client come along, I would use some of that money to get a travel writer to write information for me. And then I would incorporate that into my website and I'd call them modules. These modules, for example, the one you're looking at the moment, was all about Auckland. And I would write articles on places to stay, places to eat, entertainment, transportation, things to do, and shopping centres. And then where possible, I would link them to my advertisers. And it would just be a big web, like the World Wide Web at the time. And I would get a lot of traffic for my clientele. Then I had some of my clientele want to have homepage advertising. So then I'd have different pricing structures. I would have, drop-down boxes where people could, search. All this stuff's pretty regular now, but back then it was pretty state-of-the-art. So this was as I grew. And then I started providing that there were accommodation providers out there who would pay me a commission if I promoted their accommodation. And that was a real good way of making money at the time. So for example, the hotel club, they would have thousands of people listing and advertising with them, and they would pay me up to 20% if I did a booking for them. So it was worth my time building them into my network. And that's basically what I did. So why did this website that brought me in $475,000 worth of sales in 1 year and let me take home a $275,000 paycheck in 2004, why did it stop? Because Google come along and they started charging people for Google AdWords, and I couldn't compete. Also, my clients that I had by the balls, because they didn't own their website, and I always encouraged them to build their own website over here and let me do the marketing of their brand over here, finally built strength up, and they didn't want to be tied to me or tied down to me. They wanted to employ their own IT department, and the timing just changed. And eventually I still have a few clients who are in my New Zealand's Information Network, and I look after their advertising, but I don't have the legs I used to because Google, the big guys, come along and cleaned up a lot of the advertising advantage I had at the time. So at one stage I thought, well, if I need to compete, I'd redesign the website, as you can see. And this was before WordPress came around, and within that 6-month period, basically I lost a lot of the search engine optimization tricks I used to employ. So anytime you'd search for any of my rental car operators, my travel and tourism network would come up in the results, and that's how I did really well for my clients. So for example, one of my clients would generate anything from 40 to 50 emails for people wanting to rent a car from them from my network each week. And that would normally turn into a lot of rental car bookings, and that's why they were really loyal. When I started to lose that traffic, I started to lose my clients left, right, and centre. So I couldn't maintain, and I was a one-man band. I did have my wife at the time working in the company, and we were just continuously producing content. Content is king. So what did I do with the content? Did I just wipe it? No, I salvaged as much as I could. And if you do go to deheck.com and click on my blogs, you'll see that I actually have 1,000 blogs on my website. And these have all been salvaged from New Zealand's Information Network. And now what I do is I have advertising laced throughout them, which generates me income on a daily basis. So that's my first idea. So if you're thinking about starting up a travel and tourism network, don't bother. Sites like TripAdvisor, Lonely Planet even, and there's a few other ones that really dominated that market, and Trivago, for example, and there's no way that you'll ever compete with those guys. And also a lot of website, a lot of my travel and tourism clients these days don't actually want to have somebody else looking after all their website marketing. They want to control it themselves. So you'll find a lot of them have their own WordPress website and somebody like an administrator looking after it. So website development, yes, that's what I got into, but you won't find me doing that these days because I'm tired of developing websites for clients. And the main reason for that, their expectations are very high. Once I finish developing a website for them, they then want me to start promoting it, and they wonder why it's not coming up in the top 10 of the search engines. And it's just an endless energy, getting these clients' websites to rank high in search engines. So what I encourage all my clients to do now is I provide workshops and I teach them how to market their own websites. So that was idea number 1, New Zealand's information network. Now we'll go into number 2. Hello, we're on to side hustle number 2. I was married and my wife used to work for an immigration company. She wasn't an immigration consultant, but they flew her over to Cairo in Egypt and asked her to help people complete the immigration forms so they could come to New Zealand. And I said, why didn't you just send the forms over and let them do it yourself? And she said they would fill out the forms incorrectly. So I said, well, why don't we put together a do-it-yourself immigration service? And she said, well, you're not allowed to sell the immigration forms. It's illegal. And I said, well, why don't we put a whole pack of information to help people immigrate to New Zealand and include the forms free of charge within? And she said, oh, okay. So what we did is we started up a website. It was just a domain name called nz-immigration.co.nz. And we basically designed it very similarly to New Zealand's information network. And as time went on and we learnt about the demand that people were expecting from us, we designed it and gave it its own look and its own feel. Then we looked at the different categories that you could apply to immigrate to New Zealand and created different packs for each category so we could be more niche. We also created a message board area where people could ask questions about immigrating to New Zealand. At the time, you didn't need to be a licensed immigration consultant to answer people. Then things changed and it was illegal to provide advice to people about immigration if you weren't licensed, which put a bit of damper on it. However, they did have an official booklet that we could cut and paste the answers to at the time, and we overcome that obstacle as well. So as time went on, we built up a website and we just focused on immigration information. We looked at the different categories so people could apply to come to New Zealand as a skilled migrant pack, a pre-arrival pack, a families categories pack, an employment pack, and then a business investor pack. So that was great. We sold $150,000 worth of immigration documents that we weren't allowed to sell over about a 2.5-3 year period. So why did this business not continue and grow and flourish? That's because the New Zealand immigration website got up to speed with technology, and they made it that people could apply online and they didn't have to print all the documents. We would have boxes of documents turn up because they would give them to you free, and they would tell us that there would be a typo in one of the documents and destroy all the documents, and then they would send us 5 boxes or 1,000 new immigration documents each time for each category. It was an amazing waste of money, so they decided to stop wasting the taxpayers' money and made it that people could apply for immigration via their website. The reason why this business was quite successful, if I listened to my wife at the time, she said that we weren't allowed to sell immigration documents. Would you believe the New Zealand Immigration Department saw what we was doing, and in their information area of their website, they promoted the service we were providing. And we would get a lot of traffic from the actual official New Zealand immigration consultant, immigration website. And that was ironic at the time, but start small. You don't have to be perfect when you're setting up a website. As you can see, all my websites were started. They were good. And as I learned more about the people and the expectations that people wanted from a website, like an immigration website, we catered to their every woman in desire, and we gave them what they want. And in our return, we would sell a $200 immigration pack. We would give people the option, if they wanted to wait 5 weeks, pay $30 shipping. And if they wanted express, we would cut out all the unnecessaries in the pack and send it to them with express shipping, and they'd pay $100. And we were making around about $150 every pack that we sold, and we were selling them for $200 each. So there's some ideas. Look for a service that some person is offering and do it better. All right, now we're on to side hustle number 3. Right. Side hustle number 3. This one's probably not my proudest one to broadcast on the internet, but it did actually make me $100,000 in 2.5 months. A friend of mine that used to admire my New Zealand information network decided that he would start up his own information network, and he was copying a lot of the articles that I would produce. He was following my leadership. Now, I went around to his place once and I was on his computer and I scrolled to the bottom of this page, and he'd actually copied my articles word for word from my website and was rewriting them, but he forgot to remove my articles off his website after he'd finished plagiarizing them. He was involved in alternative health. He was a massage therapist, and he had a lot of products that he would get paid commissions from. I'd never overlapped in his industry, but from that day forward, I decided that if it's good enough for him to copy my work, I will copy what he's doing, and I certainly did a better job at it than him. So I decided to start up a website called Sexual New Zealand. And what we initially started doing was providing information that people would be too shy to ask their doctor for. You know how you go to Dr. Google? Well, we would provide information on sexually transmitted diseases, for example. And we built up quite a large lot of visitors to our website. This website actually generated up to 25,000 IP visits per day as well. It was a really easily found website. Because most of our websites were text-based, it came up in the search engine where people searched for anything that we had on offer. I was brilliant at search engine optimization at the time, and back then Alta Vista was a search engine that gave us a lot of traffic, and Google wasn't that dominant at the time. So we gave advice on premature ejaculation. We had adult dating websites. We also had advice for people on our website on how to write their dating profiles. We used to have a guy called Dr. Love, and he used to provide articles on love making and all sorts of things. We had sexual positions. And then my wife at the time decided this persona called Miss Editor, and she used to write really saucy blogs about, sexuality and dating and the like. And I'll be honest, this was a money cow. One of the hard case products that we sold, we never actually sold anything. This was when affiliate marketing was at its prime. You could get companies that wanted you to sell their products so much, they would pay you 50% of the sale price. So Volume Pills here was responsible of, I sold, don't ask me what volume they help you with, all right? You can work this out yourself. $37,000 worth of products we sold. Half that money was sent to us in bank checks that would turn up in our PO box, and we'd go down to the bank. We would put them, convert the American dollars into New Zealand dollars, and every day or every week we'd be going to the PO box looking for these big checks that these companies were sending us. And I remember one of these guys decided to ring me up and ask me what I wanted for Christmas, and he went and bought me a new LCD screen. Well, I don't think we had LCD screens back then, maybe a plasma screen. But it was an amazing website. But why doesn't this sort of thing work now? And that's because people who sell products don't have enough affiliate money. So we're just getting 50%. 50%, you sell something for $400, $200 turn up. That $200 I used to reinvest it in writing articles and creating content. Now on 10% margins, there's no money in it. Every Tom, Dick and Harry's doing it, and companies like AliExpress just kill this sort of thing. So you won't make money by producing a website. We had a lot of really good articles, which I still use every now and again to help promote and drive traffic to my other websites. The other thing I could show you in here that's quite interesting, once that died, we had a bit of luck, and you have a bit of luck if you start doing stuff like this. There was a guy in New Zealand who was sending 1 million spam to everybody every day. And he was on the news being interviewed one night, and I caught it and I listened to it. And what he was doing, he was selling the same products that we were, but he was spamming people. I've never done spam. Now, people didn't know how to click on something, so they would search Alta Vista or Google, and I would intercept their traffic. So he was out there marketing himself, but I was getting his traffic. And that was why we had a big influx of traffic and sales at the time, which was pretty amazing. So after that sort of died, I tried turning it into a shop selling adult products or supplements and skincare and the like. And I found a customer, I actually found a wholesaler that would drop ship for us. And we did do reasonably well out of it. I mean, maybe $1,500 to maybe $3,000 worth of sales a month, but not worth the time and energy that we were putting into it. A lot of fun, but because I started up this opportunity, it led to other opportunities. Onto side hustle number 4. This one is quite interesting. First of all, let me introduce you to a lady called Anna Nicole Smith. Now, you may have seen her on TV, but Anna Nicole allegedly had taken these pills called Trim Spa, and she had lost an amazing amount of weight in a short period of time. And you can see her here with her weight loss. So my wife was into weight loss, and she said, well, hey, we should get some of those. And I said, better still, why don't we order some and see if we can sell them on TradeMe, which is like eBay or online sales site. So we bought in 4 and we sold them on TradeMe for twice the price that we paid for them. So then I said, well, why don't we start up a website called Dietary Supplements, and every time we order, just get more products each time and slowly build our inventory up, rather than going out and buying a container load of these Trim Spa. So they were costing us $200. We were selling them for $400. Because people were too worried about getting them through customs, they would shop locally, and that's why all the websites I've talked about to date are all to do with New Zealand, and I only sell products to Kiwis, people I know. I don't try and go global. So because people were concerned about them getting through customs and having GST to pay or tax to pay, what we would do is we would make sure all our orders were under $400. If your order is under $400, you didn't have to pay GST on the goods. Now, we did this for about a year, maybe a year and a half, and we never paid GST on anything, so we didn't have to pay tax. But we just made sure all our orders were small, and that worked out for us. So eventually, we started finding all the products from other websites that we could sell, and we just bought them in, and that website was bringing us in around about $5,000 a month. We were actually getting them from a company called E-Vitamins, and E-Vitamins had a category structure that we thought was good. So we basically created the same category structure over here, and basically just copied their American website and made it New Zealand friendly, and then imported all their products slowly until we built up our website. What happened was MedSafe New Zealand changed the rules. Anyone selling dietary supplements had to get them certified. The cost of certifying each product was around about $10,000 per product. And they didn't say we was doing anything wrong, but they said to us we need to spend the money and get each product certified, as well as that we weren't allowed to use any false claims like weight loss. We could have to change all our weight loss words to weight management, and make sure that we had a disclaimer on the bottom of each of the products, which we did have, but we weren't fully in line with the MedSafe New Zealand. So while the lady was talking to me on the phone, I literally deleted the website off our server and said, look, I've just deleted the website. We're not going to do it anymore. We realize that we are not fully in line. Is there anything else I can help you with today? And she said, you didn't need to do that. I said, no, it's fine. We're not going to spend the time or the money. and that little wee side hustle that was bringing in $5,000 a month, and we were clearing about $2,500 a month, was done and dusted. So don't sell dietary supplements online unless you're prepared to get them certified to your country's standards. Okay, we're on to the next side hustle. Right, so this is number 1, 2, 3, 4. Side hustle number 5. Now, this one's a bit spinny. And this one here, I actually sold $1.5 million worth of the product. Now, I do a bit of public speaking, and I remember taking one of these products along, all gift wrapped, ready to rock and roll. And I did a 5-minute talk about the history of the product and how we became to sell it. And at the end of the speech, everyone said, "What's in the product?" And I said, "I'm not going to tell you because I was too embarrassed to tell everyone." But I'm not so embarrassed these days. This product here was a product that I could never get paid an affiliate commission for selling. And one day I was on an auction website and I realized the name fleshlight.co.nz was for sale, and I paid $500 for it. And I said to my wife at the time, I said, "I've just bought a domain name." And she said, "Oh, and for $500, which was quite a lot of money back then." And she says, "What'd you get?" And I go, fleshlight.co.nz. She said, "Oh, what's that?" And I said, "Oh, I don't know if I want to tell you." But it actually became her business because she wouldn't let me touch them. But what a Fleshlight is, it's a male masturbation device. So literally what we did is we took 2 months to get approval from Fleshlight in America to become a wholesaler, because they were very picky who they let sell their products. And also, I never told them, how we were marketing their products, nor did I ever tell them, I'm sure they could have found out, what domain name we had. So we became what you call an official distributor, self-appointed, selling these products. So the first thing I did, I asked them what product sold the most, and they had one unit here called the STU, the Stamina Training Unit, and that was their biggest seller. So we brought in a box, 10 of those, and one of each of the other best sellers, and we started small, worked big. Don't know if we should be talking about big and small while I'm talking about this. But as that company evolved, they started making so many different variants of the same thing. All my clients were wankers. Just thought I'd throw that in there. But they also had ones where they would have them molded after porn stars, which meant, as strange as this may sound, people would be searching for those porn stars. I would intercept the traffic, and they would land on my website, and they would get distracted, and they would buy the products. Now, the articles that I used in my other website ventures, I repurposed to this website. So now I sort of had a little bit of hustle number 4, I think it is, and the dietary supplements. All those sites had a common interest. And as I've said earlier, I'm really good at optimizing websites. When you search anything to do with those porn stars or anything to do with fleshlights, because I had the domain name and the whole site was keyword savvy, I would just get a ton of traffic. And literally we sold about 6,000 units. They cost us $72 each roughly, and some of the models ones that you see here were more expensive, but on an average around about $72 a unit. And we used to play around with the pricing, and we would sell more when we used to advertise them at $130 than we would at advertising them at $99. And the reason why that is there was a lot of rip-off of this product when a lot of rip-off brands were trying to rip off this product. And the people that were ripping them off were selling them for $40 each. So if we were too close to that price point, people wouldn't buy them from us because they thought we were the rip-off. So because we were getting them from the USA and importing them we were the genuine supplier. So one day, after selling $1.5 million worth of these over 6 or 7 years, I decided to sell the website, and I put it up for sale for $180,000 because our yearly turnover at the time was around about 150, and the profit out of that was around about 70. So somebody told me, if you want to sell a business, what you do is you work out your profit, triple it, and that's what your business is worth. So I had a guy that was really interested in buying it. You know what he did for me? He rang up Fleshlight in America and asked them if he bought Danny's website, whether he would have exclusive rights to selling fleshlights in New Zealand. And they said, who's Danny to heck, so to speak. So anyway, I got a 17-page lawyer's letter, and so did my, I call them our sister company in Australia, who had no association with us finance, but they rang us up one day and said, oh, look, Fleshlight's starting to control who sells their products. And they didn't like me using their domain name, well, it was my domain name, but they didn't like us using their name and passing off their name to sell their products. And they were more interested in selling their products to people who had physical shops rather than trying to compete with people on the internet. Now, timing is everything when you're marketing other people's products. And as I talk about these side hustles more and more, you'll see a lot of the side hustles I do are all about finding trending information that's on the internet. Just like I've built up this YouTube channel, which I'm going to show you my stats with, by passing off on a name like HyperVerse, I'm using those names that are in high demand for my own advantage. And at the time, Fleshlights were a good reputable company, and they still are. People were searching for that brand name. So I dominate that brand and I own it. So don't think about getting into doing a Fleshlight store now. This website domain name, I did actually sell it for $3,000, not my $180 I was hoping for. I cut my losses. And now when you go to that website, it forwards to a shop that's actually got them on their shelves. And that's how that worked. But I started small. We bought 12, and we were used to have one of those double cupboards in a bedroom, and it was full of all the products. We used to put a lock on the door in case somebody got a bit nosy and had a look to see what was in the cupboard. But we used to have a wee business at home that used to generate us around about $150,000 worth of sales and about $70,000 worth of profit a year, just in a cupboard in one of the spare bedrooms. So that's one of the interesting things I've done as a side hustle. On to the next one. Side hustle number 6. This one was quite interesting. This is the old story. It's not what you know, it's who you know. And there was a company out there called Toolline in Christchurch, my hometown. They import a whole lot of power tools and machinery, and they sell to the big home renovation companies like Mitre 10, ITM, Bunnings. Well, I don't know if they do Bunnings, but they used to sell. And the conditions were that if I started selling their products, because I didn't have bricks and mortar, that I weren't allowed to discount the products and undercut those big guys. I had to sell the products for the recommended retail, which meant this site wasn't one of my most successful. However, it did make more money than it cost me to run it. And that was actually selling power tools. Now, for years, I've had this saying, market what you do, not who you are. So you'll notice a lot of my domain names are all hyphenated. Have you wondered why I do that? That's because I'm only after search engine traffic. And a domain name like power-tools is looked at in the search engine as 2 different names. But if you're on the phone to somebody and they're looking for your website and you say, oh, power-tools, a lot of people don't actually know what the word hyphen is. So you need a domain name, Power Tools, without the hyphen. Just in case you're wondering why I have all these domain names with hyphens in them, because I'm only after search engine traffic. And I know search engines really well. I know how to optimize most things and get traffic there. It's all about the structure of the website. So as you can see in the Power Tool website here, I've got a couple of royalty-free photos. I've got a couple of big brand names which I'm selling. And then down here you can see the things I'm selling, like power tools right through to a bandsaw. Now, ironically, I had somebody from Germany tell me they want one of my bandsaws. Now, as you can see here, the price of this bandsaw, just so you know, I'm going to see if I can enlarge this. I can, is nearly $5,000. So I went back to my supplier and I said, would you ship the bandsaw to Germany? And they said no. And I said, why is that? You got to ask. And they said, because we wouldn't be able to honour the warranty if it went wrong. So I went back to the person that wanted to purchase that product and told him that if he's happy to purchase this product with no warranty, if he wants it serviced or it needs to be fixed, he would have to ship it back to New Zealand to get it serviced. Are you happy to buy it on those conditions? And he said yes. I said the only other condition is that you must get it freight ready to send it over to Germany. We're not packaging it up for you. Now, that transaction made me around about $1,100. All I did was take the guy's money, pay the supplier, and then let him worry about picking it up from their warehouse. So a lot of times, even though your brain might say, I just want to sell a power tool and make $20 or $30, you will be surprised how many times you'll get an email from some big organization wanting 10, 20 or more of those drills. And that's what I call these drop shipping websites. So this is when I sort of started to get into drop shipping quite a lot, and I would monitor the traffic and find what is in demand. So for example, if electric drill was the thing that everyone was searching for, I would make sure it appeared at the top of most of the pages. And also, if you're looking at, I don't know if you want to know this much, but if you look at the category names, all these are also search terms that people are searching for. And I would create a page on each of those search terms. That's a bit of SEO stuff. It's a different conversation. But that power tool one, I had that for a couple of years. I don't actually remember how much it brought me. It wasn't a six-figure income, but it used to pay for itself, and it was well worth having it. And I built it on OpenCart. If you're wondering, it's a really old piece of software. And I also used a lot of these sites as demo sites. When people were thinking about getting into e-commerce, I would show them the sites that I run, and I would learn a lot from my own experience. I would do the talk and the walk, as I'd say. Anyway, so that was site number 6. Was it 6? I hope. All right, number 7. This one's a really interesting one. It's a selling electronics online. Now, the problem with selling electronics online is the fact that you are open to a lot of fraud and stolen credit cards. So let's say that to be successful at selling electronics online, you need to have really low margins. So if you sell 10 products and then somebody scams you and you lose all your money, you make no money for the last 10 products you sold. So you need good software to be able to do it. So let me show you what I started off with. This is NZ Electronics, everyday communication devices for work and play. And in this shop, I would have right through to cell phones at the time. Oh my goodness, I've even got a Nokia 6030 iPhone for $230. But all the products that you see in here, and as you see the website has upgraded, you can see I've got all types of connectors and the like. We actually had a local company called Dove Electronics. And Dove Electronics were based in Christchurch, Wellington and Auckland, and they're still established today. And they would provide us a CSV file of all their products. So with some clever software and a help with a friend of mine, we had come up with a way to basically import their entire database on a daily basis, if we wanted to, and have all their prices. We could work out how much margin we wanted to add on to all their wholesale prices. And when people ordered products, we would literally go off to their website, order them and have them sent to them, and they would get delivery in 1 to 3 days. Now, there's a really important reason I'm telling you this, because this website has been going for about 10 years. And I am going to talk about drop shipping in later off down the track, but this website is still established. And we've got products in here that tell people once that your order has been placed, it can take up to 10 days before you receive the international tracking, and delivery can take, listen to this, 15 to 60 days. Now, this formula and this drop shipping shop is very successful for me, and it's how I make one of the ways I make my living right now. But the formula that people observe think that I can't do it this way. So it's not always about having overnight delivery and giving the customer what they want in 10 minutes. Sometimes people are prepared to wait for products. And I'm going to share some of my knowledge, experience, and skills when it comes to drop shipping down the track. And don't forget, I'm also going to show you how successful my YouTube channel has been, even though I've just started monetizing my YouTube channel. Anyway, so my point of side hustle number 7, I think, is the fact that selling products with low margins doesn't work. And the risk factor of things being sent to people who are using stolen credit cards and the like, a lot of that stuff is controlled a lot now by payment gateways like PayPal and Stripe and Shopify. But I do remember once sending, the phone number was bogus, and a couple of other things like their names was all spelt in capital letters, telltale signs. I looked at something and I processed an order, and I remember finding out afterwards it was a stolen credit card. And so the goods were delivered to Christchurch, where I live, and I went around to the house and I found a disabled lady who had a house full of electronics, and somebody had tricked her into thinking she was doing them a favour and dropping goods off at her house, and they were just using it as a drop-off point. And I remember the police giving me my speakers, my $500 speaker backs, and saying, "You're a very lucky man." They were still ready for resale. So you learn a lot in this industry, and electronics is a real tricky one to be in. I've mastered the art a lot now, but if you think that you can find a supplier and add 10% markup on it, you're just not going to make any money doing that. And also the amount of money that you need to pay Google to advertise those products is just shocking. And also every time you sell a $1,000 item, that costs you $900, $30 of that is going to go after credit card fees. Anyway, so that's side hustle number 7, and I am going to come back to this one and teach you a little bit more about how to make money using drop shipping as a formula. So this one isn't really a side hustle, and I think I'm up to number 8. But this was a business I've spent 8 years of my life trying to get right, and I would be the ideal person to get involved. To get involved if you're thinking about starting up a business networking company. So originally there was a company, after my divorce, I lived in a small little town, and there was BNI, which is BNI International, Business Networking International, and there was a new networking group starting up in my little wee town where I lived in. And I went along for about a year, and I met some local businesses because I was trying to get involved in the community. And I really liked the company. The guy that ran the meeting told me that the franchise behind the company was available to purchase if I wanted to own this business networking company called Elite 6. Basically, I bought the company for about $15,000, but it came with $60,000 worth of franchise manuals. And my job was basically selling franchises, not running business networking meetings. And when I bought the company, it came with a master franchise that had theoretically, I've been told, purchased a license to run meetings. And each master franchisor could run 6 meetings, and they had 5 years to do so. And we used to charge $59 a month. 75% of that money would go back to the master franchisor, 25% would go to me, and my responsibility was to build the website and handle the payment gateways and the like, which is right up my alley because I had a lot of experience in IT. But the reality of it didn't actually work like they said. For a start, the website that they had was archaic. And what I was doing was every business that came along that wanted to meet another business, I would create a online directory listing for them, just like I used to way back at the start. So I think this is ideal. And I spent a lot of my time updating listings because people wouldn't log in or couldn't figure out how to log in to update their information. So it became a very time-savvy website, not really a passive income, but I want to explain the story. So I upgraded the website, and I had a members directory, and I had all the different types of industries that would come along to my meetings. Then we had, at our heyday, we had 12 different groups in my hometown that used to meet face-to-face, 7:30 in the morning, and I had them in Dunedin, Queenstown, Rangiora, which is a hometown, and all basically all that I looked after. And I used to visit the meetings every now and again as the franchise owner, and then I used to run facilitator meetings every now and again to make sure that we kept the information. And then each week we produce a PowerPoint presentation with new things for people to do. And I used to get up on a Monday morning, prepare for the week, and then eventually what happened is my master franchiser got pissed off with me, telling her what to do, and we basically went our own separate ways. And she started her own business networking company, which is going great guns today. However, I decided to get rid of all my facilitators and run the meetings myself. So instead of paying 75% to my master facilitator, franchise owner, I then received 100% of the $59 that was coming in a month, which basically meant I was getting about $60,000 a year coming in from running these meetings myself. But it was chewing up a hell of a lot of my time. So when COVID happened, this photo that you're looking at was taken when the people that were still able to go out and meet and greet after COVID first happened, we kept quite a few of our meetings together, and we tried to run it over Zoom, and this was one of our first meetings when we could get together face to face. But it took about 2 or 3 months after spending 8 years trying to build a business networking company where people were there to support each other. It fell apart very quickly over COVID. And today I run one meeting on a Thursday at 11:30 to 12:30 in Belfast, and I run it myself, and the group that I have got going along there like my business family. And it's nice not to have all my time chewed up editing websites, encouraging people to come along, and running big events like we were doing. So we'd have what you call speed networking events, and we'd invite strangers. We'd advertise at the paper or on Trade Me, or not Trade Me, but anywhere, get people along, and they would meet my my business family. So it was quite rewarding because I met a lot of people, and there's not many business people I haven't heard of. If you want a real estate agent, if you want a photographer, if you want insurances, if you want a mortgage, I know just about everyone in my hometown. So I'm a very resourceful sort of guy, and it's one of the most enjoyable things I've actually done. But now these days, instead of having a dedicated Elite 6 website, basically if you go to dehec.com and click on Elite 6, you'll see our members, and you can come along to a meeting if you like, or you can come and visit. And I've got a promotional video, and I still do business directories for each member. So that's something else. But if you're thinking about getting anything to do with people and organizing people, you know, the good thing about this is I host websites as well, and I charge $59 a month for this service, and I basically manage people's websites, keep all their plugins up to date and the like. This here is $59 a month, and if you have 100 people coming along, I had 140, paying you $59 a month, it actually starts to add up quite quickly. But hosting a website for $59 a month, or meeting with someone 4 times a month for the same price, is you're better off web hosting and doing that. So anyway, that's my baby. I still love Elite 6. I love the people that I've met along the way. It's been a great journey, but 8 years of my life I've spent trying to get businesses together to support each other and help each other in business. And when COVID came along, most people ran back to their homes and got sick of being on Zoom and trying to network over Zoom. I think we're all tired of screen time, aren't we? Yeah. All right. So that was number, I think we're up to 8. We'll find out in a second. Hopefully we're an 8. And by the way, do you like my cogs in the background? I thought they were pretty cool. I'm not sure if this is working good, because when you run a video in the background, I'm not sure if my lips are in sync and I'm using too much computer resources to run a video in the background, and that's why my lips might not be in sync. But anyway, I just want to throw that in there. We're up to number 9. I have to think what number 9, number 10 is going to be. Okay, side hustle number 9. And this could work for you as a passive income if you set it up right. I've been doing drop shipping for since 2018 is when I set up my first shop. It didn't go that well until I started playing around with different things and getting better systems and processes. Now, the difference between what I'm doing for drop shipping is you need to find cheap products and sell them at a fair price. Now, is there any money to be made in drop shipping? I work for about 2 hours a day running 5 drop shipping websites, and I'm going to show you the income that I've made over the last, well, I'll show you the real life stats. So if you're looking at this website here, this was the first one I set up, and to date I've sold $68,000 worth of products, and the take-home money for that website is 50%. So I've had to manage, I've had to process orders, and this has been a 3-year, if not nearly 4-year website. Now, when I first started this website off, I didn't have the formula right, so the first year was basically testing different things to get it going. My advertising spend on this website is $5 a day. The second one, different website. It's been going since 2019. I don't know the months of the year. May 2019, we had our first sale in June. The first month turnover for this website was $2,437. That's pretty good going. Notice the average order price. It's very important. And if I go back to this one, every website is different. But you're not selling big ticket items. You're selling small items to many people. Okay, this one, average order price is $43. Now, it's quite important if you don't know anything about drop shipping. If I've sold $238,000 worth of products since, let's go to January 2019, so in the last 2 years, so I'm gaining about $100,000 worth of sales a year, and $50,000 of that is take-home money, but my average sale is $43. So you can basically see I'm doing a lot of transactions. So that's one thing about drop shipping that will kill you if you don't know how to handle your customer and you don't know how to handle the transactions. So now we've got another website here. This website, we started them all around about the same time. You can see the average is 65. One of our biggest products that we sell is around about that price. The reason we sell that one product is because people can see other like-minded products around that product, and it gives them peace of mind that we are legitimate, and because they're selling this, that they must be able to sell that. Now, that might sound a bit vague. And the last one that I've just set up was it was set up in January 2022. So this has been going, I don't know the months of the year, 4 months, and so far we have sold nearly $7,000 worth of products. Once again, the average price is $42. So it's pretty cool, and all of those websites I showed you, we spend $5 on each a day advertising, and currently I've got one of these websites for sale on Trade Me, and this is all part of what number 10 is about. So there's 2 more things I'm going to show you. Drop shipping is where there is money to be made. I've done a lot of experimenting. I have got a really good formula. I will show you one website called, Now, this website is called Year Nah. And if you look at it, it's got Kiwi, it's all about New Zealand website. This is my partner's website. She sells t-shirts, artwork to go on the walls, cell phone covers. She's got pillows. And as my partner is a photographer, all the artwork here is hers. And she's got a very good looking, beautiful website. You can also, it's just really well. She spent a lot of time. She's even got blogs. It comes up in the search engines when you search for it. Kiwi slang words, munted. It's quite a common phrase over here in New Zealand. Now, looking at that website, go have a look, year-nah.co.nz. How many products has this website sold in the last 4 months? Because that's how old it is. Any idea? Okay, I'll tell you. Glad you asked that. This website has sold one product. And it's because it was outside the scope of what we are used to doing. It looks good. People aren't searching for these products. If we sent and we paid a whole lot of traffic and got people looking at this website, it would probably sell. But there's not enough money in it to pay for the advertising to get the traffic this site needs to make it work. So it's a waste of time and energy. But a lot of the things that I've showed you over the last 9 side hustles, did I say that right? Yeah. Things that you learn from each. And when this website was started, my partner spent months doing it, and it's sort of a bit of a shame that she's only sold one item. And the one item that she did sell, I think, was a t-shirt. Now, that might just mean that she's better at focusing on providing t-shirts, because that's what the demand is on the internet at the moment. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. But I see a lot of people see me as I show off my dropshipping website. So let's have a look at this. 130,340. What was that one? 340. Just going crazy here. 340, 540, 5.5. So we're looking around about, say $600,000 worth of sales and $300,000 worth of profit. That doesn't just happen because I set up a dropshipping website. A lot of people decide that they're going to copy what I'm doing. Now, some real strange fundamentals is I only sell products to people in New Zealand. I don't do global selling because it's too hard to market globally because we don't have the budget. And as I said, those 5 dropshipping shops that I showed you, I spend $5 a day doing it. Now, if you go to theheck.com and look at my workshops, you'll see that I actually run a workshop on how to set up a dropshipping website. Within that workshop, I literally will show you everything I have learnt. I'll show you the software I use to import products. I'll show you the software that I use to process orders. And I'll show you how we handle all the shipping tracking as it gets updated. And I'll show you where we get our products from. So it's all, if you're interested, no obligation, but go to theheck.com, go to my dropshipping course, put your email address in there. And if you're interested in actually having a passive income, this is the type of thing you can do for a genuine passive income, not like HyperVerse. So anyway, I hope that helps, and I'll be on to my very last hustle. And my very last hustle is quite an interesting one, and I hope you enjoy it. And thank you for watching to date. And if you haven't watched all of them and you've jumped through a few, go through and watch a few. The purpose of this video is really for you to get to know me and to see that I have got better things to do with my time than just rave about HyperVerse. But anyway, let's go on to the last one. Last but not least, side hustle number 10. Now, this is something I've been working on for about 18 months. And if you want a passive income, you really need to lay a good foundation so that you can maximize the opportunity of it being successful. So the one I've been working on at the moment that has only produced me a few $1,000s to date is online workshops. Now I've got a lot of knowledge in my head, and I'm sure you have as well. So why not come up with ways to share what you know? I've just shown you 9 side hustles that I've done. And now what I'm doing is I'm putting what I have learned into workshops for people to have a look at. Now, my workshops are actually all about people building their personal brand. And that's why it's a wee bit funny, because everything that you have come to know me by is by me letting you see the real, genuine, authentic Danny DeHeck. And my goal and my passion at the moment is I've been building brands for years. And now I believe the future of everyone is their own self. So, the idea of starting up a brand and then one day selling that as a company and making your money as you retire, I've twisted that around the other way. I truly believe that everyone should market themselves. So become a better version of yourself is what my workshops are all about. And in here, my main deal is helping people build their personal brand. And in the personal brand package, there is multiple workshops to get people on board at starting to build their personal brand. So you might think I'm a crazy YouTuber and I have built a YouTube channel. I haven't done it just because I want 1,000 subscribers or I want to monetize. I wanted to learn how the process works. I want to be able to say to somebody who's about to do my YouTube 101 Plus course, this is my experience from doing this. Was it worth getting hold of HyperVerse by the neck and strangling the Ponzi scheme and putting my name out there and associating myself with that? And what was the reward for doing so? So if you do any searching on the internet for Danny DeHeck, you'll see that I am everywhere on the internet. I also own the domain name danny.co.nz, which is the suffix for New Zealand domain names. And my last name is DeHeck, and I've got deheck.com. So my email address is danny@deheck.com, which is nice and uniform. And my courses are teaching people how to set themselves up so that they too can have a good personal brand, because there's only one version, and that is yourself. So if you go through my website, you'll see I've got Coaching 101, where people are trying to overcome some obstacles. I'm encouraging people to book me on an hourly rate. And when they book me, it goes into my Calendly, which I use. And then it took me a long time to set up Calendly.com. So I've done a course on how to set up Calendly. Everything I learn, I put into a course. And then when I'm talking to people who I'm engaging with on any platform, I'm continuously pushing out a URL or a place for them to go that will help them, and I give a lot of value. I also have a bronze area where people can join my community, and it's a place where people can go into my website and ask questions of things they're trying to overcome, obstacles they've been faced, bits of software they're trying to get their head around. And this is where I get my what will my next course or my next workshop be about. And then when you get down here, you can see all the workshops that I have. I have a LinkedIn course, a WordPress course, a personal branding course, a Google course, a domain course, a podcasting 101 course. I'm a podcaster. It took me a long time to figure out the right software. It took me a long time to figure out what recording gear, what microphone to use, and all these things. So I've put together a workshop on how to set yourself up as a podcaster with the knowledge that I've learned. Online dating. You saw one of my side hustles was providing online articles, help people put together their dating profile. So I used that information I had sitting there gathering dust, and I've used that and put it into a course. So if somebody comes to me and they're searching for online dating profile, templates, then I have given them 7 templates that they could use to set up a good dating profile. Podia is the platform that I use for my courses. My partner spent around about $3,500 doing a 6-month course on how to become a course creator. And through her course, I learned how to set up online courses, and then I've got the information I've learned and turned that into a course as well. And of course, number 9 was all about drop shipping. And drop shipping is something I know a lot about. So that's my big course. I'm currently selling one of my drop shipping websites for 30,000 New Zealand dollars. Now, I've also got a course that I'm about to release teaching people how to set up their own drop shipping business. And that is around about 3,700. Now, it's a lot cheaper for somebody to set up their own dropshipping business than to buy one that's already going. But I have the option there. Now, why would I be selling a successful dropshipping business? Because $30,000 is how much money I have made from that website in the last 12 months. If somebody is to pay me $30,000 for the dropshipping website, I can spend 12 months doing something else and spend that energy, and it's 12 months I don't have to work, so to speak, if that makes sense. So if you're looking at my courses, one of the ones that it has been very successful for me, because if I have 20 courses online, I don't know what the demand is. It's no point me sitting here thinking I'm going to create a course because I think people will be interested. I need to put out sort of like a few different types of hooks, fish bait, and see what fish I attract. And one of the ones I've had quite a lot of success with is LinkedIn. If you are watching this and you would like to do my LinkedIn course, use the coupon code LinkedIn50 and you'll get 50% off it. It's only a $40 course. Each part of the course is broken down. You get an introduction telling people how to set up their banners, their headlines, and I've got a talk through. Welcome back. Of me talking them through every step of setting up their LinkedIn course. A big thing that people want to do is set up a WordPress website. When I first tried moving away from plain HTML and using a content management system, I really struggled to get my head around WordPress. So I've got a course that breaks down everything, where to host your WordPress website, how to set up pages, what theme to use, where to get themes, how much to pay for a theme, how to create a page, how to create menus, and how to create categories, why to create blogs, and a lot of information in there. Now, my website, deheck.com, which I'm going to go to, currently, last month, if you look at my Facebook page on the top of my website, which you might not be able to see here because I've stuffed up, I might just move that down a little bit. Does that work? Yes, it does. You'll see my social media goes across the top. You'll see that my deheck.com website at the moment is currently getting 20,000 visits a month. I used to have 25,000 a day. To get that much traffic to your website these days, you'd have to be massive. But to get 20,000 people looking at your website in a month is amazing. Hey, I hope you've enjoyed my side hustle. So this side hustle is all about creating workshops, creating online courses, teaching people what you know. I would recommend using podia.co.nz. If you use that domain name, that is an affiliate link, and that will come back to me as a little bit of commission for me telling you this little snippet. If you want to, go to my workshop area, click on membership, join the free bronze area. I'm already logged in, and post your questions, and I'll see if I can help you. So that was side hustle number 10, and now I'm going to do a little bit of a conclusion. Thank you for watching. Well, I've just spent the whole day doing a video to show you that there is other ways of making money on the internet rather than investing in Ponzi scams like this thing behind me, HyperVerse. At the moment, left, right, and center, I'm getting emails from people saying they can no longer withdraw their money from HyperVerse, and they're having withdrawal failures. And can I help them? No, I can't help you. You shouldn't have got involved in a Ponzi scheme, first of all. But what I can help you with is actually showing you other ways to make an income. So my goal of getting 1,000 YouTube subscribers was so I could monetize my YouTube channel. The reason why I wanted to do this wasn't actually for the money, even though I'm about to show you how much money I have made from my YouTube channel since I have been doing this. The main reason is I wanted to understand how YouTube worked. I wanted to be able to say to people that I can get 1,000 subscribers to my YouTube channel in 5 to 7 weeks if you follow and do the same things I do. I practice what I preach. So without further ado, which in my speaking career you never say, this is the back end of my YouTube channel. And I'm not going to tell you how to suck eggs, but you can see that I've had 51,000k views, and the estimated revenue that I should get, which is calculated over a 28-day period, is 317 New Zealand dollars. Well, I think it's New Zealand dollars. The interesting thing that makes me kind of laugh in a way is one of my videos I did was 2 hours long, and this very video that I'm doing right now would be getting close to an hour and a bit. And most people go, well, people like short videos, and they're the ones that you should put on the internet. Well, one of my most looked at and most highest revenue videos is actually my 2-hour video, how to withdraw from HyperVerse. And that's where I got Matt Gardner, is Australian, and I also got my good friend Vinny from Project Frugal, and he come in and we watched this guy try to convince us that HyperVerse wasn't a scam. It's a very long video, but to date that one video has generated me $55. The next video, which is really interesting, HyperVerse made it incredibly hard for people to pinch their video off their community area. But I've got some clever software because I'm a podcaster, and I managed to rip off the official HyperVerse video, which is, I think, of memory, I think it's 22 minutes and 58 seconds long. Anyway, that video isn't even my content, and that has made me $43 worth of revenue. And then other videos that I have had, like 10 reasons why HyperVerse is not a Ponzi scheme. And then all the videos I've done, including some historic videos which have now got more traffic to them. So on my YouTube channel, I've published around about 400 YouTube videos, and it's only just recently, the last 40 videos have given me 99% of my traffic. And the reason for this is you need to find what's trending on YouTube, and you need to create how-to videos. People are searching YouTube most of the time trying to figure out how to fix something. My traffic is quite clever. Now, if I search for HyperVerse presentation, or let's go HyperVerse reviews, you'll see what actually comes up. There's 3 videos on the top, and none of them are my videos. But when you come down to the results in Google, you'll see that my website comes up number 1. This comes up every single time. People are searching for HyperVerse. Once again, theheck.com is intercepting the traffic, and people are landing on my website. I'm getting 20,000 people a month landing on my website currently. They see my videos. My YouTube videos are embedded on my website, and also I have a blog attracting people. Now, when you're on a mobile phone, you will see adverts coming up within this content, and that is also giving me an additional 5 to 10. Yesterday it gave me $17 worth of advertising revenue from Google, not including the dollars I'm getting from my YouTube channel, my 317. So theoretically, all the content that I have been producing about HyperVerse is probably going to generate me between $500 and $700, if not $1,000 of revenue per month. It may not last, because when HyperVerse falls over and people stop searching for it, it's gone. But in the meantime, I did promise you I'd show you the back end of my YouTube channel and how much money I'm going to make. And now I'm going to produce more videos on helping people be saved from Ponzi scams and scams on the internet, because that is what is trending at the moment. If you want a hand at finding ways to make a living on the internet, reach out to me. I've got far too much time up my hands because I've spent all my time fighting HyperVerse. Hey, thank you for watching, and if you haven't already, I'm going to tell you, subscribe to my channel, hit the bell, and thank you for watching this long video, and hopefully it might make me $50 a month. That would be worth my time, wouldn't it? Everything you do, try to put it back out there and educate others, because I'm a real true believer of sharing my experience, knowledge and skills. I'm Danny DeHeck, and you can find me at deheck.com. Thanks for watching.